Hello, thanks for tuning in. My name is Peter Martin. I'm from the Bromley Civic Society, and this is a short video about H.G. Wells's birthplace in Bromley and what Bromley was like when he was born in 1866. Herbert George Wells. His mum called him Bertie, so shall we. He was born and lived at 47 High Street here on the 21st of September 1866. The map shows what the Market Square was like in 1895, and this is the aerial shot of what it looks like now. This is the scene today. Note the HSBC Bank and the Royal Bell. Bertie was born here. And this is the actual building, as it was in about 1900. He was born and grew up in that shop with the living accommodation above. He says it was infested with bugs and smelt of the paraffin his father used to try and get rid of them. Note that it says Medhurst on the sign over the shop. Medhurst bought the shop from the Wells family along with all the other shops in that row, now Primark, in the building built by Medhurst in 1930. There we see the Medhurst sign, established in 1879, which is the date that Bertie had to leave Bromley because his dad broke his leg. A close-up of the shop. In Bertie's time it sold crockery, china and a special line of cricket material, because Bertie's dad Joseph was a professional cricketer, so when he broke his leg in 1879, the family income declined and Bertie had to move away from Bromley and become an apprentice to a draper. The shop was called Atlas House because of a figure of Atlas bearing a lamp instead of the world in the shop window. And there's the plaque that marks the spot on the ground outside the entrance to Primark. Note the grating. Most of these shops had a basement, and Bertie describes spending most of his time in a subterranean kitchen lit by a window which derived its light from a grating at street level. And that's the modern equivalent outside Primark. He says the room was dark and intermittently darker because of the skirts and feet going by over the grating. This is almost the view from his window. His window would have been a bit further to the right. Very busy and noisy, smelly with all the horses and the market on Thursdays. Bertie spent a lot of time here when he broke his leg, and he was supplied with books from the local library, which was housed in this building here, known as the Old Town Hall. That was built just 3 years before Bertie was born and stayed there until the 1930s. And this is the same view today. The Old Town Hall has gone, obviously replaced by a mock Tudor building of the 1930s. Some of the other buildings, the Georgian buildings, are buildings that Bertie would have known. Bertie describes a boundary wall separating us from the much larger yard and sheds of Mr. Covell the butcher, in which pigs and sheep and horned cattle were harboured violently and protested plaintively through the night before they were slaughtered. And that's Covell and Harris, the butchers. And about the animals, Bertie says some were recalcitrant and had to be treated accordingly. There was an element of rodeo about Covell's yard, and of course Covell and Harris is now on the site of the bank building that we know as HSBC. Let's look a bit more closely at this building built by the butcher Harris in 1888 in the arts and crafts style, now grade 2 listed. It shows how wealthy the butcher had become. Also that Bromley was very prosperous. Lots of decorative detail on the building, typical of the arts and crafts style of the period. That's just the beginning of the longer story of where Bertie grew up or in his own words, this was the material setting in which my life began. You'll want to hear the whole story of Bertie's early life in Bromley. We've already heard about 2 broken legs. There's lots more to tell. Join us for the walk in September this year online. Find us on Google for more details. Log in to our website and hope to see you online in September. Thank you.